We are back, Fashion Dolls. It is Thankful Thursday, October 26th, and welcome to an all new episode. It is 4 more days till my Queen Day, my 30th birthday. Join me Tuesday at 4 p.m. for my very special birthday special with my very special guest, and I'm super excited about that. Our very special guest today is setting the screens on fire, and he is no stranger to the acting world. He's been in the business for a very long time, and I'm super excited to have him here. Without further ado, let's welcome our incredible guest, Demarcus Bumpers. Hopefully it works this time, ladies and gentlemen. There we are.
Hello, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Welcome to the dollhouse. How are you?
I'm doing great. It is an honor to be here, Stevie. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome, and it's a pleasure to have you here. So before we get into this interview, the year is halfway out. How has your 2023 been so far?
So far, it's been a great year. I've been booking roles back to back. So that's always a blessing despite, everything that's going on with the strike.
And we'll get to those roles because you just kept giving us project after project after project, flyer after flyer after flyer. So we'll get to that. But let's start at the beginning of your journey. Now, you grew up in the suburbs outside of Houston. Tell us a little bit about that.
Correct. Yeah. I grew up in Clear Lake, which is 30 miles outside of Houston. And then I attended Prairie View A&M University and, graduated from there and proceeded on with my graduate studies and so forth from there. And then I spent years working in the oil field, and then I transitioned into the acting world.
We'll get to that. And you've mentioned Prairie View AME. We know that there's a few famous alums. Terry Ellis of the girl group In Vogue attended Prairie View.
Yep. Yep.
Lonnie Love, Emmy Award winning talk show host. She also attended Prairie View A&E. So, yes. Now, you said six-figure career in the oil field. You gave it up to focus on acting. Why?
Yeah. I was clearing over $180,000 a year in the oil field, and
Wow.
I gave it up to work on acting professionally full time. Lucky for me, when I was in the oil field, I had made some really smart investments while being in the oil field. So, and plus, with my entire family and everything, between all of that, it really had me set up very well. So, what I did was I packed my bags and I moved to California to pursue my dream professionally full time.
And what did your parents say about it? Because I know they're very reluctant about us wanting to get into the entertainment business. I know my mom has had her reservations about me starting this platform. So, what was your parents' reactions about you getting into acting?
Oh, so my mom was like, wait a minute, you're giving up a six-figure career guarantee to go do acting professionally? And I was like, yeah, mom, this is what I want to do. So what my mom and them didn't understand at the time was I was already booking stuff. So I had already been doing like TV commercials and so forth while I was working in the oil field. And they started seeing that I was very serious just based on my booking volume. Yeah. And at first, my mom was like, you got a long road ahead of you because you're going up against millions of people in the industry, that want to be actors. But let me, put you in contact with the right people so you can make the transition. Because, of course, I have a handful of celebrities in my family. So that kind of
Yeah.
made it easier to transition into the business. But I had to
Now,
go through Knowles and all that like everybody else. I definitely had to. Yeah.
and another thing people don't know about you is you've also had ties with Death Row Records, which is a big
Correct.
record company. So, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So Michael Harry O'Harris, he was the founder for Death Row Records back in the 1980s with Dr. Dre and them, and he put the capital up to get the label started. He put the capital up. And he started Denzel Washington's career by casting him in a Broadway play called Checkmates, which opened on Broadway, making him the first African American to finance, direct, cast, and produce a Broadway play in the state of New York. And in that Broadway play, Checkmate, he also cast Paul Whitfield and Ruby Dee in that play.
And
And then a
that's when
few years later, he had did another play called Stepping Into Tomorrow, and he cast Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. daughters in that Broadway play.
and we just talked about Broadway. Our guest that we just had this week, Kenneth Grissom. He does a lot of theater and Broadway. We talked about that not too long ago with him about how he got his start into Broadway and theater. So fast forward, you've talked about Denzel. I know he's one of your favorite actors.
Yeah.
Tell us about your first acting experience. What was it like for you the first time ever being on set in that place? What's running through your mind?
Okay, so the first time I went on set, I it was a couple years ago. I was working on this project called The Story. Now, on this project, you're familiar with Darman, right? He has
Yes.
the motivational videos on Facebook. Well, I was working with one of his actors on that project, and I was working with a couple actors from like The Young and the Restless. So they were, of course, on set is lights, camera, action, and I got tongue tied. I was like, and I realized all the cameras and everything was just on me. It was all eyes on me because this was a big supporting role. Need I remind you? So everybody's experienced, polished SAG actors, and I'm brand new. They're offering me a ton of money to do this, so I'm like, I have to make this right. Like I have to get it right. So the first couple takes, I was just tongue tied. I could not breathe. I had anxiety as I've struggled with that for years. And in the third take, made me do this, drink tea as the director. And then right after that, I in the third take, I was like a canary, and I've never looked back since. Hmm.
So what methods do you do before getting into character on set? Because I know it can be nerve wracking. You have so many people on set. What are methods that you do before you get into character?
Oh, so one of the things that I do, I drink tea and I have menthol, so cough drops. I love cough drops. And then I pray to the man upstairs. And any, discernments or anything that I have in the back of my mind, I give it to him. I go to him in prayer and I say, God, just get me through this, clear my mind, put me in the right company, give me the strength to deliver these stories. Because honestly, when I jump into characters, I'm a completely different person. And I feel like it's God that jumps into my body and he's delivering the messages. Because it'd be so weird to see myself on television. I'm like, wait a minute, I did that? Oh, wow. Yeah, it's so weird.
So you go back and you watch and critique.
Yeah, I actually have one of my films right here. It's running on the platforms right now. It just released a month ago. And it's steady getting picked up by multiple platforms. Everybody is picking up Beware of Paul Pry right now.
And you have a few other projects too that are coming out as well. Also,
I do.
Beware
I,
of
I
Paul
do.
and Fever. We'll get into that. Now, for you, what's been your favorite role to play thus far throughout your career?
Okay, so right now, my upcoming project, and me and you, we kind of chatted not that long ago before, today's meeting,
Yep.
Secret Killer, because I really had to develop that character because I play a psychologist and and I get entrapped into this intricate web of tapping into that psycho killer's brain. So I had to do a lot to really prepare for the role. And a lot of people don't know this, but I went to New York and spent time with a psychologist to develop the character more so I could give a good on-screen performance. That was and that role of course, I not only produced it, but I'm also the lead. And it's scheduled for release in January, and multiple platforms have already picked it up.
And it's on Tubi. You guys can catch it out on Amazon Prime. It's
Correct.
everywhere. And you also have Celebrity Fever as well too. So
Yeah, okay. So Celebrity Fever, I had my first sex scene.
Tell us about the experience. How was it?
Okay, so for Celebrity Fever, to be brutally honest, me and my cast member, we was so comfortable with each other, and I was just making sure. I was like, "Are you okay? Everything good?" That I just wanted to make sure you're not being hurt and you're not uncomfortable. I promise you, by the time we got done filming, we were like brother and sister. We just bonded so well. It was a great time. She was wonderful, phenomenal to work with on that project. And also, I produced that project as well. I was also the producer. Hmm.
And you have three projects that are coming out, and Beware of Paul Fry is coming out in 2024, January. So are you excited? What's running through your mind? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So beware of Paul Pry. It's already out. We got an early release. It's out. So it's on Tubi, as you can see right here. It's on
Amazon
Tubi.
Prime.
It's on Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime got it right now. Apple TV have it. Plex is about to pick it up, and several other streaming platforms. And then I have a total of 8 more movies scheduled to come out that I've been working on right now. I'm in production on. Oh, and there's a sequel to Paul Pry, Beware Paul Pry. It's called Paul Pry Trail. It'll come out next year. I'm already in production on it.
So you have been working back to back to back to back to back. This man is nonstop. And when I introduced you in the beginning of the show, I said you are literally on fire because you and Nelson's another actor that I've interviewed, Nelson Davis. You guys have both.
Nelson!
Yeah.
Nelson, that's my boy. I just talked to him the other day. Me and Nelson, true story, me and Nelson are actually gonna do a movie together.
Ooh,
hmm
ooh,
We are. We're gonna team. We actually are going to team up. We've already been in talks about working together. He's moving through the ranks quickly, and I
yeah.
know I'm getting ready to work with. You probably know him, Tyrone Betters.
Yes, he's coming on the show sometime too. Ty Respis, all of them, they're coming on the show sometime
Mm-hmm.
this next month.
Tyrone,
Yeah.
yep, Tyrone and Montreal Diggs, yep. I'm actually going to be working with them as well. We got in fact, me, Montreal, and Betters, we're actually doing a film together, actually series in 2024. It's called The Beginning of the End with James Joffrion as the director, and he got a podcast, which is doing well. And he interviewed a lot of the folks from like The Shy and Power and so forth. So they approached me about coming on this project. So I'm playing an assassin and I'm having to go through the fight training and all that now. hmm
And I've had Joffy on the show as well too. So all of these guys, I've had them on the show.
Joffrey is my boy. It's Joffrey, that's a good dude. He is so talented, and he's very comical and
Yeah.
dramatic. I'm like, dude, I need your zest, the energy to get through these projects. And I learned so much from him. And he actually he critiques my auditions when I send him my auditions. He give me a critique, and true story. hmm
What was the most challenging scene for you to ever film in your career and why?
Most challenging scene. Okay, the fight scene on this one, Beware Paul
Paul
Pry.
Fry.
It was my first fight scene ever, and in the first take, most people don't know this, but I actually got punched by accident in the take.
Ooh,
I got it was literally an accident, but I actually went down. And if you zoom in closer in there, you actually notice like when I actually get hit for that final time, I actually took a hit.
well, you would never know. And then your stunt doubles as well too. So
Yeah,
how
and
do
I
you
and I
feel about
actually opted in to do my own stunts and everything. I opted in for my own stunts, and in that take when we went back, I looked at it. He's like, it's more authentic, it's natural. They ran that in the final copy. I said, oh man. So
all right? What was the most challenging role that you've ever played in your
the psychologist and secret killer. That was intense because I had to become, because I promise you, I'm super, super nice. And I feel like with this character, I had to become someone completely different. I'm super nice, but I feel like the characters that they give me on screen, they give me strong characters, which, in the industry, that's of course, that's what I want because, they
Yeah.
already in this industry, they put you in a box. So I feel like if I'm going to be put into a box, I'm going to be put into the right box that can catapult my career because the ultimate goal is for me to be the first African American from Houston, Texas male to take an Emmy Award, a Golden Globe, and an Academy Award for acting.
It's coming, and I'm manifested it in the future because you've been working so hard. I've seen countless things that you have been putting out here. And shout outs to my brother K Tukes, host of the K Tukes spot. I know you in here, brother.
Yeah,
Shout outs to him. Make sure you guys go and check out his platform and talk show. He's absolutely amazing. And we've done a few collaborations as well too. And you said you're manifesting in the future for an Oscar, for an Emmy. And I'm manifesting it for you too, because like I said, you and Nelson and James Jaffe, y'all have been working so hard, consistent, putting your projects out here, helping others, coaching them on acting, telling them where to go, what they need to do. You all have been working consistently, and it's going to happen. I know it.
yeah. Yeah, and I feel like in this industry you have to be helpful, and I thank God for like Tyrone Betters and Joffrey On and all of them
Mm,
because they are really good people, and I feel like they are going to be very transparent with you, and they're just going to just lay it out there, and of course they want to set you up for success. They tell you about the behind the scenes of the
yeah,
business, because of course you notice we me and you've had a conversation about this before, but when you walk into the business, everybody they see the glitz, the glam, the fact that you're on television, but behind the scenes they don't know what go on behind the scenes where you're
no,
going to the auditions, you're hearing the no's, it's rejection on top of rejection, and you become bulletproof, and you're having to put that work in and doing short films or doing other things to develop your craft, whether it's branding, taking classes, because that's the only way you're going to be great is if you do those things. So I feel like in that regard that they're very transparent and just laying it out there. And for me personally, I like to take a more raw approach. Like I'm just not. I live in Hollywood right now because I packed up for Hollywood, but I'm not too Hollywood. Like I'm from Houston. So I'm just raw with it. I'm not trying to be over the top or be another person and put this facade on. No. Mm-mm.
right. You're so down to earth and laid back, and that's what I've gotten from you from watching clips and interviews about you and your whole personality. And that brings me to my next question. What do you think is the purpose of art, cinema, television, and film?
I think that the purpose of it is it's the embodiment. I think that it's something that's entertainment. It's to for you to tell stories because whether it's through acting or through music, both intertwined, it's got that message of being able to tell a story. You're telling a story, and right now, especially when we had the pandemic going, or just people having issues in their personal lives, it's an escape outlet for you to be able to immerse yourself in that. And
Yeah.
for that short time that you're listening to music or you watching something on TV, you're able to escape away from your reality and escape into that world, immerse yourself into that world. And in part, that's why I got into the business to tell stories.
Now, my next question for you is, do you think that artists have a responsibility, artists being actors, to convey a positive message?
Absolutely, because you are a public figure. I think that
Yeah.
it's very important that you display, a good message, and that you are a leader. You take a positive approach because you not only have adults watching you, you have children watching you. So everything that you do, that reflects back on you and the message you send out to them. They're like, well, I seen this public figure doing this, and the type of things that you do, they gravitate to that. So I feel that it's very important that you send out the right message as a public figure. That's very important. And for my fans, I'm going to continue sending out the right messages to my fans. That's important.
Absolutely. And speaking of sending out the right message, I've done so much research on you. You were a part of the Big Brother program
Absolutely.
and you volunteered for community service. So, what I love about you, Demarcus, is that you're so humble. In this business, as you said, as you mentioned a few minutes ago, people get such a big head, but you never forget where you came from. You said, I'm from Houston, Texas. So, it's the same for me. I said, I always want to be the same humble, down to earth person when I meet people, going out or they watch the platform or whatever, I will always greet you with just that niceness and won't think that I'm anything above. So for you, working with these charities, what was that experience like?
Oh, well, actually, to be honest, I still work with these organizations to this very day. I'm still with the organizations. The Big Brother program, where you go back and you someone that's much younger than you take them under your wing and you're mentoring them and you're helping shape. Because see, they come from some of them, a handful of them, they come from troubled backgrounds. And they probably don't have the right support system, so you take it up on yourself to help them, show them how to tie a tie, taking them to go grab food, putting that vote of confidence in them, showing them that you don't have to immerse yourself into illegal activity, that you can go out here and get a really good job after you go to high school and you go to college and you graduate. You can be a successful, Asian or African American or
Yeah.
Hispanic, whatever your nationality is. You can do all of these things. There is nothing that you can't achieve. Oh, and also getting them set up with how to apply for college and so forth. Because sometimes folks get, especially in the Big Brother program, they may not have the proper guidance. So that's where we come in at, helping them do the stuff that's necessary in order for them to go to college upon graduating high school, because we want those numbers picked up significantly with
Yeah.
having our youth from the Big Brother program go to college. That's very important. And also, I go to a handful of schools, including one in San Antonio, Texas, Bella Cameron Elementary, where kids that have performed academically throughout the entire school year, A's and B's or straight A's, or I see that there's been a major improvement in their grades from the previous semester. I reward them every single class with pizza parties and ice cream party and soda party. I do it every year, 2 times a year per, per
And
school.
I was, yes, and I was also going to say, to add on to what you just said, there's so many kids out here that want to get into the acting and entertainment business, or they have music, or they have artistic abilities, talents. They can paint, they can draw, they can sing, they can do all of these things. We need more programs from the arts. So, what is your view standpoint on that, on giving more opportunities to children who want to get into the business?
So, okay, in Texas, eventually, I actually want to open up a studio in Texas because there's a lot of talent, whether you know or not, even out of Dallas too.
Yeah,
But in Houston, a lot of talent, and they're not sure about the process of how to get into Hollywood. Because, of course, that's not an easy process. And
so
if
many
you're
of them.
trying to transition well into the business, you will have to pack your bags and you have to move to Hollywood, New York, or like Atlanta, one of the major markets. My preferred market was LA because it's very competitive. You're with the big boys. I wasn't playing any games. I knew that I had to leave Texas and go ahead and head on to LA. And it proved to be a smart move for me making that move because a lot of folks, they pack their bags, they moved to LA, and this is just me and you talk as we've talked before. But in transparency, you have a lot of individuals, they pack their bags, they moved to California with hopes and dreams of being on television. And sometimes unfortunately they get hooked up with bad crowds and they get hooked up with con artists that are alleging to be directors or producers, or for some of our ladies, unfortunately, they will sell a soul and a body to the devil, and that's it's just not the right move. And you look up, so much time has passed by, and you haven't secured any role because you can. And for some, to each his own, but sometimes they sell their soul to the devil and they get that role. But look what you had to go through to get that.
Right.
And just because you secured that role, what about when it's time for your next role and the next role after that? You're gonna keep doing the same thing. That well is gonna run dry. And see, the industry is so small to the point everyone talks. Because there's a lot of actors in New York, Atlanta, Florida, and just all of the other markets that I know, along with managers, publicists. It just take all I have to do. We have an immediate network, like a long list, and all I have to do is just get on the phone, speed dial whoever I need to get on the line to get the information that I need. It's easy, and the industry is smaller than you think, despite it being
Yes,
millions of people in the industry.
absolutely. 100%. Now, on to a lighter note, how do you, when I introduced you in the beginning of the show, I said you are on fire because you've given us movie after movie after movie
Oh
after
yeah.
movie. You have so many projects coming out. How do you celebrate your happiness and success?
To be brutally honest with you, because of me booking so many roles, and me and my mom were just talking about this the other day. Right now I'm in production on 8 new movies. Oh, and plus a TV series. Forgot to mention, I'm actually in for a TV series now. But because of me being so busy, I have no time to celebrate. And Paul Pryor has been streaming very well on the platforms, and I haven't even been able to celebrate the milestones that it's been hitting on the platforms. And the fact that it was able to get picked up by Amazon Prime, which is a tough platform to pick up, by the
Yeah.
way, I was super excited. And then when I found out Apple TV was going to get it, and Apple TV was picking up the sequel, which I'm filming the sequel now, they're picking it up, and along with Secret Killer and my other projects, I was just, oh man, I was just blown away, and I was just so grateful to God, because it's like all my hard work is just paying off. I gave up a career in the oil field, making over $180,000 a year, to
Wow.
go pursue my dream and act and produce. So to see my work already on the platforms and I'm profiting from it, it just, oh my God, it's like a fresh breath of air. Like I'm just so excited. And it's been a journey. And 2023 was definitely my year because I packed up and came to Hollywood right during the pandemic. So of course, studios were shut down, but we
Okay.
were auditioning, and I had booked a ton of roles, but they had delayed it because of the pandemic. Studios were shut down, so we were doing virtual. And 2022 hit, I just hit the ground running right when 2022 came. And then I looked up. Next thing I know, I've got this movie complete, that movie complete, and stuff is just, now it's dropping. Stuff's coming out. Mhm.
Now, what is the most valuable lesson that you've learned throughout your career?
Mm. Don't get intertwined with individuals that have ulterior motive, that are getting into the business for their own selfish gain. Because sometimes you have individuals that do things for clout and attention, and they can put your brand in jeopardy just to try to get attention and try to take themselves up. And I think a lot of us have gone through this, getting entangled with managers that are not good. And had seen the contract when I finally had inquired, and with this manager, I told her, "Hey, you can't. I'm not willing to work with you because you are in the business of doing things that just don't sit well with me as a person, my religious beliefs, and for my brand, it's not good. It's not a good move for my brand professionally.
Right.
So I had to, just sever ties. But I think within those 3 weeks, I learned that valuable lesson that this is not going to work. It's not going to work. I have to move around.
And I kind of take from that too, because today I've learned to negotiate. And I use this as an
Hmm.
example. You guys know eBay, there's a bidder, and there's always someone who offers a higher price. I've gotten into collecting Barbies just now in 2023.
Okay,
And
yeah.
there's always someone who's going to go into a higher price. So I've learned that sometimes you're going to win, sometimes you're going to lose. I've learned the art of negotiating. Some people are just not willing to budge. And sometimes you have to take that no, but you take that no and you turn it into a yes. So even when it comes to bidding and auctioning and winning certain things, you'll find someone who might be able to accept a lesser offer. But there's some who are just going to try to offer you something that's astronomical, an astronomical price point. But it's just like, yeah, I'm going to have to decline. So I've learned the art of saying no and declining and negotiating the right way today. That's what I've learned for sure. Not just on eBay, but in real life and business deals as well too. As you all know, Style by Stevie is independently. I'm not up under a brand or a PR agent, anything. I'm doing it all on my own. And I make sure that I'm very, very careful with what I say, what type of image I project on my platform. And so far, it's been
Absolutely.
an amazing success. I love it dearly. I love what I do.
Yeah, your
And I try to make sure
platform
that
is
I
doing
continue.
well. You have a really good platform. And, of course, you've had Vanessa L. Williams from Soul Food on your
Yeah.
platform. And, what's so funny? My family started Vanessa L. Williams' career. True story.
Wow.
Uh-huh. Years ago, Vanessa, well, she was linked to Harry Oaks, so he kind of helped finance her career years ago. True story. Over 30 years ago, this was right after she was Miss
Yeah.
America. This was right after Miss America. They had met, and he actually helped her. True story. Back in the day, and when I had gotten the request for your interview, I was like, wait a minute, wait a goddamn minute, I'm gonna be interviewing with damn Stevie. My publicist had came to me not that long ago and had said, it'd be good to interview with Stevie. My PR team had heard about you and had said, work with Stevie. And then I, remember Nelson J. Davis had did an interview. In fact, me and him chatted the day that he did the interview with you. I was like, wait a minute, you interviewed with Stevie? I have an interview with Stevie, but it's in October because his interview was months back. And
Yeah.
I remember the interview with you got set, my interview with you got set months ago. So your schedule is hectic. You have a long list of people that you interview.
Yes, and we're just recently renewed for season 18, so I'm excited about
Ooh.
that. And more people are going to be coming on. We're already getting set in motion for February, so that's what we're working on right now. So I'm excited about that. Great things are coming in the future for me, and I'm manifesting it because of all of everything that I put out there. So
That's good. That's good. That very, and I definitely hope to come back and do another interview with you
oh
in the
yeah,
future because they said Stevie is just a sweetheart, just someone great to work with, very fun loving, good person, good charisma, and the line of questioning, you ask the right questions, which I feel that that's just so important in this business, and you try to make sure that the stuff that's put out there that it's factual. So
yeah.
I love that about your platform, and I've been following your platform very close. You've been interviewing some really good artists. A handful of them have reached out to me about collaborating on films in the future. I've had conversations with a handful of them already.
That's a blessing.
Hmm.
And like you said, the industry is so small, everybody knows everybody. Well, some people don't
Hmm.
know everybody, but it's interesting to network and put people together. And that's kind of like what I do too. If I've interviewed somebody, I'll say, hey, check out this person. This person does music, and I'll point them in that direction. So it's all
Yeah.
about networking
We
as
got we
well.
got a we actually got a so let's see, I think I think in our chat right here, it looks like, oh, our boy Chundi, he's a basketball player. He's actually on right now, tuned in watching us right now. He's a really, really good dude. I think he's overseas playing ball right now.
Okay. And
Really good dude, very talented. Dude he can hoop. Got game. Hey, what up, Chi?
now, my next question for you is: are deadlines for actors are deadlines realistic or motivating to keep you going?
Oh, I'm sorry, repeat the question. I'm sorry.
My next question for you is: are deadlines realistic or motivating?
Oh, deadlines. I love deadlines. I think that it's important to have deadlines because you have to have, I mean, it have to be a cutoff time. And I think that
Yeah.
the longer you prolong something, you're not likely to get it done, or you rushing and you're not perfecting it at your best. So I think that you need to plan ahead, especially when you're doing like auditions and so forth. Like they'll say you have 3 days, but realistically, it's smart to do the audition immediately, as soon as you can, because it increases your chances out there of being seen more by the casting director if you're doing that. And they take a look at that when you actually submit it. Hmm.
Absolutely. All right, and it's also motivating because it keeps you on track. Like, hey, I need to do this, and I know I keep a whole plan book. I make sure I keep everything lined up and organized, so that I need to know, okay, you need to get this done this day, and you need to get this done this day, and this person interview this person. So I try to keep everything organized.
Oh yeah,
All right.
definitely. Absolutely. So you okay, so with you being in the business, of course with the interviewing like the entertainers and
Yeah.
so forth, what do you think sometimes is the biggest challenge with, working to get talent, to you? Like,
Working to get challenged. Sometimes the stars that you really, really want to interview, like T.S. Madison is always one of my big dream interviews to get, and I know her schedule is so hectic. So Maddie, if you see this, come on, girl. But it's been challenging because I understand that the person that you're trying to request, their schedule is so hectic. Like you've mentioned, the writer's strike, a lot of things are they're starting to reach agreements, and actors are still out here on the front picket line. I'm seeing it as I'm scrolling down the gram or on Facebook or wherever. The actors are out here hard at the picket line trying to reach an agreement. These actors are begging for fair pay, and I think that is rightfully so. These actors are working so hard, long hours on set, so I understand that. It's been hurtful. It's just like, oh, I really wish I could have really interviewed this person. But I've had my challenges, but it's just like, you know what? Not right now. It's on God's timing. So whoever you're trying to interview, whatever person, whether it's Vanessa, whoever, it'll be on God's divine timing. So I like to wait. I like to be patient. And
absolutely.
not only just the bigger names, but I like to give opportunities to other up and coming actors or hairstylists or makeup artists or whomever to promote their brand on the platform as well.
Yeah, that was one makeup artist. She'd actually we chatted not too long ago. She and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna get with you." I know she had did makeup for who was that? She was working with oh, Cardi B. She was working with Cardi B, and I said, "Well, hey, if I ever need you on set, and it's a last minute thing, even I'll definitely reach out to you because I feel like in this industry." We have to be close knit. Whether it's actor, producer, director, writer, makeup artist, cinematography, whatever the case is, whatever hat that you are having to put on in this industry, when we come together, we're in the world of entertainment. We have to entertain. So we have to just kind of work together and just pull each other up. And I think that because I'm taking that approach, I'm seeing more blessings on my end, and that's what I'm excited about.
And it's going to be more and more and more to come in the horizons. I do vision boards, so I like to plan ahead on what I want the future to look like. So for you, 2024, you have a bunch of film projects
Yep.
coming out. What else can you expect in the year of 2024 for Demarcus?
Oh yeah, yeah, and I want the world to, know the name Demarcus Bumpers. That I'm here to stay, and they will continue seeing me on the platforms. And I'm already in production on the 8 films plus the TV series. Oh, and I got to give you some tea while I got you on here. So, I got a TV series. It's called Money Calling, right?
Mm.
And it's actually, yeah, we wrap filming on it next week. So I have to fly back to the East Coast again to finish the final take on one of the episodes. I'm flying back to the East Coast next week. I'm in California now. I'm flying out there to film the final scene, and it'll be out season 1 of Money Calling in spring of 2024. And guess what? It's already being reported by Tubi TV as one of the most anticipated TV series of 2024, and multiple streaming platforms has already agreed to pick it up. And I'm the producer as well.
That is spectacular. And you said spring of 2024. So you guys have to stay tuned. Make sure you guys are following Demarcus. You have three projects coming that are, well, one is already out right now, which is Beware of Paul Price, Celebrity Fever, and Secret Killer. And there's
Yep.
a sequel that's going to be coming out to Beware of Paul Price. He's already taping that right now. So it's like you're nonstop. My next question before we get into our games with you is, how do you find a balance with directing, producing? Because you are a man that wears so many hats.
hmm
It's got to be a balance. Find a balance with doing all of these projects.
Okay. So with my personal time, and I'm just now learning this because to be brutally honest with you, I didn't, with this newfound fame within the last year and everything, I I wish, and I had this conversation with my dad. I wish that I had made a smooth transition in, but for me, the transition has not been smooth because I wasn't balancing. I started getting overwhelmed. I started having anxiety. I was struggling with it. And I think sometimes when you get thrust into the spotlight, you're just kind of like, and then you're just like running at the last minute to try to catch up. And that's kind of, where I was in the beginning. And I think now I'm just getting to a point where I'm finding that balance. I'm just now finding it, and that's recent. And I recommend for new entertainers coming in, if you're transitioning to being in the spotlight, it's not something that you can try to get ready for at the last minute. You have to already be doing it literally as you're transitioning. And I just waited. I was like, when it happened, oh, then I'll start doing it. No, you can't do that. You have to make the
Procrastinating
smooth.
is
Yeah.
business. Like you have to be on it
hmm
24/7.
Because
Especially
it snuck up on me. It's like, yeah, I woke up one morning and next thing I know, I'm in the press. I'm all that. I'm seeing press and all. I'm in New York Weekly. I'm in all this like press just coming out. I'm like, God dang, it's getting real. And then, your friends and so forth, they're calling you, dude, like you're touching platforms. Dude, you're a star. And I'm just like, and honestly, the fact that I'm on the cusp of stardom, honestly, it hasn't even hit me yet. I feel so normal through it, but I'm just not even realizing yet that my popularity in the business is growing because I'm already on so many platforms. I didn't even realize it that it was going to happen that way.
and when is your pinch me moment? Like when you're on set, do you ever have that feeling like, wow, this is real? Like I'm really, really here. It's all coming at me so fast. When is your pinch me moment?
Mm. When I get on set and I see the director, the producer, the cameras, my heart start racing. I get that adrenaline rush, and I'm like, this is what I've been working for. Damn, this is it. Like I'm here. It's like now all eyes on me, and that pinch me moment really comes, like I was telling you at the beginning of this interview, when it's light cameras action and the camera start rolling. That's really, really, really when it hits me.
And it's real. It's in real time. It's like everything that I prayed for, everything that I wished for is now happening full circle right in front of my very
Oh
eyes.
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, okay, this is it. This is what God destined me to do. Because you say you pray, I pray every morning when I get up and I do my morning affirmations. That's something that I always do every morning.
Yeah, I think it's important. I think it's important to pray. You have to pray and ask God for the things that you want in this business. And I do everything to keep myself away from negative influences, bad spirits, and people that I deem or I feel they don't mean well. I try to just keep my distance from them, and I try to stay true to the things that my family taught me back when I was in Texas and growing up. I hold those values. So, I stay away from the bad influences because Hollywood have a lot of bad influences. So, they with the drinking and drugs and all that, I don't fool with none of that stuff. I'm very grounded and just
Same here.
focused on the craft. Because with the back-to-back projects, I don't have any downtime for any craziness anyway. My schedule is very hectic.
And you've been on countless covers and countless magazines. Like I said in the beginning of the show, and I say it all the time, your career is on fire. You are everywhere, and you have so many projects that are coming out. So I totally can relate to that with being busy. But and another thing is, how do you make time for family? How do you balance it out with being on set and then being with family?
So I'm glad you mentioned that. So this past year, I have not been seeing my family much. Mm-mm. The only way I see my family is usually if they jump on a plane and or we meet or just happen to meet somewhere, or my dad have to come in because we are in the middle of, negotiation deals and so forth, stuff like
Yeah,
that. But yeah, I have not been seeing my family much, and I have to miss a lot of family events because I'm usually away filming. I'm working, or I'm having to do interviews. Like right now, I'm on an interview, or I'm having to take class. I'm having to do things with branding, and my phone constantly going off with questions. And you'll think it's a quick 2-second fix,
yeah.
and it's a monster within another monster, and you have so many issues you're working to try to resolve, and you think it's something so simple, but that's not the case.
Adam,
At least in my mind, I'm thinking it'll be a few minutes. No, it's a lot of stuff and especially when you have more than one hat on. And I'm on the phone with the director, and the director is kind of giving me instruction. Well, hey, what do you think for this project? We have to go over ideals. Then we have to get that onto paper. We have to run it by the actors that we've selected to be on the projects. We have to scope out locations. You got to get the financing in order. It's a lot that goes into it.
yeah,
It's not just glitz and glam, show and tell, and you holding a title. It's a great deal of responsibility being in this business of entertainment. If you in order to be on the platforms, that part of it is very rewarding. The money is very rewarding, but it's a lot that goes into it, and you have to be grounded and ready for everything that comes with all of that. It's a lot that come with it.
absolutely. And it's all about balance. I try to make sure that I make time for my family, and I also try to make sure that I do Style by Stevie. So it's definitely a balance for me altogether. And organizing, scheduling. Ever since the pandemic hit, that's been a key thing that I've made it my business to do, is make sure that I reach out to my family and keep in touch with them. And we text each other right before coming on before an interview. We'll text each other or call each other, talk to each other on the phone. So that's how we do it. But I balance it out very, very well. So I have
That's
that balance.
good.
And
That's
keep it
good. Yeah,
all
and I talk to my family like every day or every other day. My mom wants, so the type of mother I have, she's not the type that's doing the texting with her kids. And they say when a mother knows, a mother know, right? My mother, she FaceTiming in. Yeah, she gonna FaceTime me. She wanna see your face, what's really going on with you. And if it just looks off, she's that parent that's gonna get on the plane, and she gonna jump on the plane to
mm-hmm,
California. She coming right
mm-hmm.
there on the spot. Them are the type of parents that I have.
And that's amazing to have that support system. And like you said, mothers know. Even my mom will know. She'll go back and she'll watch it and she'll just be like, they can tell body language and all. Mothers know, parents know.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the industry is gonna really be taken by storm because I think I don't know if you knew this, but Beyonce is actually my third cousin.
No, because when I think of Houston, Texas, I think of Queen Bee automatically. No, I didn't know how's the connection.
So Beyonce, okay, well actually, so Beyonce and Nipsey Hussle both, they're both my cousins. Both. Hmm.
Wow,
Yeah, so Beyonce is my third cousin on my mom's side of the family. So Beyonce mom Tina, she's a Broussard, and so is my mother. They're both Broussards. And Nipsey Hussle mom is also a Broussard as well. Same bloodline.
that's I would have never expected that type of family connection. Now we know a little more insight.
Hmm. And it's so funny because with everything going on, so of course, years ago, Harry O started Denzel's career, and then exactly 30 years later, here I am coming right onto the surface of, that same thing like what Denzel had did years earlier. And Harry O's, former wife, Lydia Harris, was the one that spent a lot of her time kind of just helping navigate me in the business and getting me to be very comfortable. So when I go, into into set or do things with the negotiating aspect of the business, I could handle myself with no issues. She has been a vessel in really preparing me in this business.
And that's key. If you're going to get into this entertainment industry, make sure you have people who have insight, especially families, to look out for you to make sure that you're on the right path, doing the right thing that you need to do. It's amazing. And then to give you that kickstart and to open the doors and get those opportunities and negotiate, as I said before. Right.
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to use my skill set and everything to the person that I feel is very deserving of it, and I've seen that they've been grinding. I'm gonna help them push over to that hump to get to the other side as well. Because I feel like you really have to try to spread the blessing because there's a lot of talent that's walking around. And I kind of just pay attention with the ones that I want to take with me to the next level because somebody had to give me a helping hand and help me get to this point. So when I go back and I actually assess it, it's going to be my responsibility to help that next person. And I was just talking to my friend Quentin. Me and him were just having this chat the other day. How are you being helpful and being a blessing to the next person? How are you doing that? Are you giving back? Are you working to, catapult somebody else with better opportunity from where they are? Because maybe they just don't know how to get to that next step. And you're meant to be a blessing in their life and help them get to that next stage.
Absolutely. And in return, God blesses you when you help others. And that's what I've learned about this business too. You don't get such a big head. You make sure that you help people that are helping you along the way. And I know my brother Kate Toops is here, has been a major support system throughout the entire process of me doing this platform. Always advising, always uplifting, always suggesting. And I take suggestions from him as well as my mentor, Miss Melody XOXO, and a few others who help
Okay.
and coach me into making sure that I'm on the right path in this business. So I'm thankful to have that circle of people behind me, as well as my family. My mom is the main key factor.
That's
Thankful for her.
good. That's good that you got that support from your family. So, and it definitely shows because I think because of the content that you put on your platform, having that love and that support of your family, that makes a big difference. Whether as much as folks hate to admit it or whether you believe it or not. Having that family support system, that's a major thing in order to survive this business.
100%. 100%. That is key. And my mom, she's been a major support system throughout the whole entire thing, always checking to make sure that we're doing the right thing here on this platform that she watches and supports, as well as the rest
Yeah,
of my family. So it's great to have them behind me 100%.
absolutely, absolutely.
All right, fashion doll. We are about to have some fun here with Demarcus before we wrap up. It was such a great conversation today and refreshing, and we hope you all took some gems from it. All right, since it is the fall months, fall winter months, we are going to do fall etc. And fall etc. is our version of this or that. So it'll be like, okay, football or basketball, questions like that. You have to tell me which would you prefer. And then the
Okay,
next
perfect.
one is turn the tables, and this is where Demarcus get to ask me some questions, as many as he wants. And I do this with all of my guests. So they get to know, for the new viewers out there, you get to know a little bit about me through Demarcus's questioning. All right. So it can be anything fashion, beauty related, family, goal, passion, dream, whatever you're curious to know, I have to answer. So we're gonna start off with fall, etc. All right.
Okay,
So
perfect.
here we go. Attend a fall festival or a local Oktoberfest party? Which would you prefer?
Oktoberfest party.
Okay. Attend a football game or harvest fair?
Hold on, what was the other one?
The next one is attend a football game or a harvest fair.
Football game, indefinitely.
Okay. Costume party or a baking party? Which would you prefer?
Oh, costume party, hands down. I'm going to one for Halloween.
All right. Go on a road trip or attend a Thanksgiving Day parade?
Hmm, trip.
All right, we're about to get a little controversial in the next one, because there's been a whole debate on fall desserts and drinks and things. So in the audience, you chime in as well too. Pumpkin spice latte or hot apple cider? Which would you prefer?
Mm, pumpkin spice.
All right. Cinnamon rolls or snickerdoodles?
Cinnamon rolls, hands down.
All right. The next one is spice chai latte or maple latte?
Spice latte, the spice. Yeah.
Okay, this one is going to get controversial because I love the first choice. Uh, Carrot cake or ginger snap cookie?
Oh, oh, ginger snap, hands down.
All right, here we go. Here's the most controversial one in the audience. You guys at home too. All right, pumpkin pie or pecan pie?
Pecan pie.
Okay, caramel apples or candy apples?
Caramel. Apples, hands down.
All right, apple cider donuts or apple fritters?
Apple fritters.
Okay, pumpkin bread or cinnamon sugar donuts?
Cinnamon sugar for sure.
Okay, toffee popcorn or s'mores?
Toffee, my mom from Louisiana, so we love caramel.
All right. It's all about comfort foods because fall is about comfort food. Okay.
Absolutely.
So here we go. Here's the next few choices. Still in the food category. Mac and cheese or cheese mashed potatoes?
Okay, so for me, I don't eat mac and cheese.
Elaborate because the audience gonna get you for this.
Okay, so growing up, okay, I was kind of a finicky eater. I mean, I ate a little bit of mac and cheese. If I just had to choose, I'd choose mac and cheese. At least have it on my plate. But yeah, I actually don't eat mac and cheese.
I love mac and cheese. See? Marcus says, uh-uh. Okay. Now I go with the first option for this one. Beef stew or butternut squash soup?
Oh, beef soup.
Yes, beef stew for me too. That is a custom that, and I'm from South Carolina, so that's a thing we do down here all the time when it's the fall winter months. Chicken dumplings or chicken pot pie?
Chicken pot pie.
Okay. Loaded potato soup or creamy tomato soup with grilled cheese?
Neither. I don't eat neither one of those.
Audience, they already put in their choices. My brother K2 says mac and cheese and butternut squash. Which do you guys prefer in the comments in the audience? All right.
Oh, they
Chicken
say
pot
chicken pot.
pie. All right. We're still in the fall food category. Roast turkey or glazed ham?
Glazed ham.
Okay. This one gets a little bit
But I love both
controversial.
of them. I gotta have, and Thanksgiving I have to have both turkey and ham. I'm sorry.
Okay. Candied yams or sweet potato casserole?
Yams.
The same here. I like the pie. Now, there's so many things you can do with sweet potatoes. Like I seen orange velvet cake. I mean, it looks delicious. It tastes like sweet potatoes. So many things. Green bean casserole or glazed honey carrots.
Green bean casserole.
All right. Now, since my birthday is coming up, Halloween. This one is in connection to Halloween.
Okay.
All right. Pillowcase or plastic pumpkin bucket for trick or treat.
Hold on. What? I didn't hear the last one. It went in and out.
Pillowcase or plastic pumpkin bucket for trick or treat.
Oh, pillowcase, because you get more candy.
All right. DIY consume DIY costume or store bought
Store
costume. Which would you prefer?
bought.
All right. Jack o' lanterns or cobweb decorations.
Jack o' lantern.
The pumpkins, because the cobweb decorations, I've seen them and they're very very hard to get out your hair. So please don't get tangled up in those. All right, fashion dolls, and that is our fall, etc. This or that. It is time to turn those tables. So for my newest guests out here, my newest audience members, my newest viewers, you get to know a little bit about me through Demarcus' question. He's going to ask me some questions, as many as he wants. And for those of you that are curious to know certain things about me, my dislikes, likes, passions, goals, dreams, whatever it is, you get to know through Demarcus' question. So take it away.
Okay, perfect. First, okay, first one. The first question. Beyonce or Whitney Houston?
Oh, love them both dearly. Ooh, that's a tough one. Ah, that's like asking. Have you guys seen the meme where it's like for the makeup girls out here, where it's like, okay, if you could do without one, is it the brows, the highlighter, or the lip gloss? That's like asking me that type of question. Wow, they're both iconic. Oh man, I would have to go with Whitney. There'll never be another Whitney. There'll
Yeah,
never be another Whitney. But I
she's
love
the
Queen
voice.
Bee. Love
Okay,
Queen Bee. I love her.
Brandy. Next one, Brandy or Monica?
Ooh, that's a tough one too. Oh my God.
It is tough. That's a tough
I
one.
love
Yeah,
them both. I'd have to go with the vocal Bible, Brandy. I'd have to go with Brandy.
Brandy, hands down. Okay, um, strawberry milk or chocolate milk?
Chocolate.
Oh, okay, okay. Um, R&B or rap?
R&B. I like to relax, unwind. So I put on Mary J. Blige or Sade, and I'm completely in my zone. I'm centered.
Mm. Red wine or white wine?
Ooh, red wine.
Red wine is good. Yeah. Okay. For the Ciroc, original or flavored?
Flavored. I like a little flavor. I like a little spice.
Okay. Mm, another one. Um, strawberry jelly or grape jelly?
Grape. We grew up with the grape and the apple. My grandmother always would bring that out. So
Grape
what?
jelly. Yeah. Grape jelly. Let me see. Android or iPhone?
It doesn't matter to me. I go with Android, so it doesn't matter to me.
Okay. Pork chops or steak?
Ooh, there's nothing like a home cooked meal, so I would go with pork chop.
Pork, yeah, pork chops. I see myself getting burnt out with steak. It's just something with steak. I mean, I think that your body have to be able to digest it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's the digestion for me. Okay, colors, um, red or blue.
Oh God, red is so ravishing. Blue is like royalty, so I would go with red. Paint your
Okay,
town red, definitely.
okay. Mercedes or BMW.
Mercedes,
You can't go wrong with a Mercedes. Okay. Um, Aston Martin or Ferrari.
Ferrari, beautiful cars. They're beautiful.
Okay. Beverly Hills or Malibu.
Beverly Hills. I go with Beverly Hills.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Denzel or Will Smith.
Oh, that's a tough one too. Oh man, because they're both amazing, incredible actors. I go with Denzel. Denzel.
Yep. Denzel is yeah, he is the GOAT. Hands down. Okay. Um Octavia Spencer or Viola Davis.
Gotta go with my girl Viola. I love Viola.
Yeah, yeah, she's really good. Okay. Um Meryl Streep or what's that other one? Emma Stone.
The Devil Wears Prada herself, Meryl Streep. Definitely go with her.
Mm. Oh yeah, you got some. Oh yeah, yeah, you got some goals. I definitely. And oh, you know what? Meryl Streep was tough, and Death Becomes Her. That's a classic. That's a cult classic. Oh yeah, Meryl. Oh yeah, K Tukes. He said Meryl.
Hmm.
Definitely can't go wrong with Meryl. And I guess that concludes my line of questioning. Yeah, you selected some really good ones, the same ones I definitely would have selected hands down.
It was tough because you gave me Whitney Houston and Beyonce, and I love them both. And you guys know how much of a Whitney fan I am. Like, I grew up listening to Whitney Houston. My mom is a big Whitney fan too. So yeah,
I had to hit you with the Whitney Beyonce, but you know what? So true story. If you look back into the peaks of their careers,
yeah,
they both had the audiences at that level, the hype as international stars.
yes, absolutely.
But Whitney has just an unmatched voice that just it is just something about her voice. Like I remember growing up. Do you remember the Bodyguard, right? When
Yep.
she's in the Bodyguard. When Whitney was in the Bodyguard, I heard her sing, and I was just like, her voice is just electric. And I remember when she was in the hotel and she was dressed up for that concert performance. It was just that was yeah, it was beautiful. From Texas, a talent that I actually got to meet before they passed, Selena.
Oh, I love
I got
Selena.
to meet Selena. I actually met Selena a year and a half before she passed. I met her at the Houston Galleria. I was like right there close to like the Gucci store, where the Gucci store was when I met her. Back in the 90s.
And what's crazy is if you guys go back and watch her documentary that they put on Netflix, her she met Beyonce at a young age. So
Yeah.
that's
You know
crazy.
what's so,
And
and
then
you know
Whitney
what's so
Houston met
funny?
her too.
And you know what's so funny about that? Okay, so when I was younger, because I flashed back to things that happened in my life when I was a kid. I think at that time I actually had met Beyonce too. I'd seen her and but it was in passing, not even realizing that she's my cousin. Cause see, this whole thing about her being my cousin, I didn't find out until my adult years. And the reason I found out about it was so our family in Louisiana is scattered all over the place. And one of those family members had reconnected with my family, at which point I ended up learning that she was even my cousin in the first place. I didn't even know that.
See, you go down the family line and you find out down your
Hmm.
family tree.
Yeah, because I had seen her when I'd seen Beyonce before when I was much, much, much younger. But when I seen her, it was in passing, not realizing, oh, that's Beyonce, or she's gonna ultimately end up being a star. This was before her
Mm-hmm.
star days. I'd seen her as a younger child, and my uncle wife had grew up in like the same neighborhood as them when she was much, much, much younger, so she knew the family in passing and through mutual friends. At this time, of course, still not knowing that she's my cousin. Yeah, so it's that big connection because Houston, you'd be surprised who's related to who or who knows who, and you find out a lot, especially back home in Houston.
See, you never know. Family
Yeah,
is
but
family.
But it's an honor. I mean, it's an honor to be related to Beyonce. I actually, it's actually pretty cool. I could say my cousin is a 32 Grammy Award winning international superstar. Like it's an honor. It's not something that I was expecting to happen. Or that Nipsey Hussle is my cousin, and my family started Death Row Records and started Denzel's career. I never in my wildest dream did I think that these were conversations that I would be having even on this platform right now. Hey, I've got celebrities in my family like that are iconic. So it's humbling, and it definitely puts you in that microscope. Folks are definitely watching you even more.
Yeah, that background, that heritage.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is stuff and this is history that's going to live on for years. And now from my end, I have to make history as, the first African American male from Houston to take an Emmy Award, a Golden Globe, and an Academy Award for acting. Oh, and it's coming because I'm not slowing down. And, I'm working on 9 projects right now, and this train going to keep moving faster and faster and faster and faster.
All right, fashion dolls. So before we conclude, Demarcus, what are some gems that you would like to leave to the dolls today in the dollhouse? Because I had such a great time chatting with you today, and you've got so many projects coming out. I mean, I can't even list them all. You've got sequels, and you just said 9. So, what are some gems that you would like to give to people looking to get into acting?
Be humble, be true to yourself, set realistic expectations, and
Mm,
hold yourself accountable, and make the hardest move of all, and that's being willing to pack your bags because you're not going to the top being stuck in your city if it's not like New York or California or
oh yeah,
somewhere. You have to be willing to make that sacrifice because the only way you're gonna get to the top is being willing to make that sacrifice. And I made that the biggest move of all. That's saying I'm taking it to California. Pack my bags, California, here I come. And I love being in California. I think it was the best move that I made.
and taking risk and
Yeah.
being daring. I'm going to add on to what Demarcus just said. Today's final thought comes from Madam C.J. Walker. She says, I want you to understand that your first duty is to humanity. I want others to look at us and see that we care not just about ourselves, but about others. So it starts within first. It starts with self love first. And in order to be able to give that to other people, you have to start with yourself and evaluate. Self reflection is key. If you're looking to get into this business, you have to, as Demarcus just said, take risks. And it's so crazy you say that. I'm looking at my vision board across the
Hmm.
room full circle. And one of the words that I put on my board is dare. Dare to take risks, dare to step outside of my comfort zone, dare to go for bigger business goals and aspirations. And so far, almost everything that I see on my vision board is coming full circle. So I must say, this year, 2023, has been a wild ride for all of us. So, what are you looking forward to? Our last question, and then you have to plug all of your projects. What are you looking forward to for 2024?
So for me to finish out 2023, I'm in production on 9 films right now total. So I want those films to continue doing what they are needing to do. Me being able to, of course, tell those stories, bring it to life, and have them on the platforms in 2024. Yeah, and I'm actually wrapping production on one of my projects next week, and I'm pretty excited about that. We actually wrap next weekend, and I know Amazon Prime, Tubi, Plex, Apple TV, Sling, several platforms have already agreed to pick up the film. So I'm pretty excited. And in fact, all of the projects that I'm currently on right now, they have been picked up on every major streaming platform in the US. And even the Roku channels have also picked up all of my work, everything.
See? Now, where can everyone check everything out? Because you have 9 projects that are coming out, and you also have a sequel to Beware of Paul Private that
Mhm.
is coming out as well.
So they can actually go. So I can tell you right now for Beware Paul Pry, you can go on to Tubi right now, Apple TV, Amazon Prime. For Celebrity Fever, you can go on to Reveal Channel, Reveal TV. You can go to Celebrity Fever is also on Amazon Prime. It's on Prime right now. And Celebrity Fever is on the way to Tubi TV, and it's also on the Roku channels as well. Yeah. And then Secret Killer will be out in January, February. That will be on Amazon Prime, Tubi, Plex, Apple TV, Sling, Roku channels, etc. In fact, I got picked up by 20 channels for Secret Killer. And me, I'm the leading man, and plus, I produced that film as well. I'm also the producer.
All right, there you have it. And that's coming out in the new year. So you guys know what to look forward to. Make sure you are
Mhm.
following the markets.
Yeah. Oh,
Definitely.
and then Money Calling. Be on the lookout for Money Calling. So that's my TV series, and it's also been picked up by all the major platforms, and it's one of the most anticipated right now on Tubi TV for 2024. Most anticipated TV series. So it'll be on Tubi, Amazon Prime, Plex, Apple TV, Sling, Roku channels, and it's also even been picked up by some of the platforms in the international markets as well, the TV series.
All right. So you guys stay tuned for that and let everyone know where they can follow you and check out these projects.
Yeah, and y'all can follow me at Demarcus Bumpers. So that's Demarcus. My last name Bumpers. And I will see everyone. You can look for me on the big screen because I'm not slowing down anytime soon. And between now and middle of 2024, my publicist and them, they already have me slated total in all to have 14 projects already complete.
Wow.
I've already got 4 done. And
All
next week
right.
I'll make 5.
And more and more and more to come. So we got to have you back here in the dollhouse in the new year, and we're going to set that up. I had such a great time, and this has been longly awaited in the works. We've been planning this a previous month ago. So
Yeah, and I actually have a magazine. So my publicist, I'm actually on the line with you right now. I just looked onto my iPad. The my publicist has just informed me that I'm on the front cover of another magazine. It'll be dropping within 48 hours.
Oh, look at God. See, it's more and more to come.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And congratulations on all of these endeavors you have coming your way. It is so much abundance coming your way, and more and more and more to come.
Absolutely. And it was a pleasure being on your platform and everything. Thank you for having me. And definitely continue to yeah, check me out on the platforms and everything. And also I know I have red carpet and I have press coming up in here in LA, and also press scheduled in New York and all that. So you'll definitely be seeing me a lot on the red carpet.
All right, fashion dolls, ladies and gentlemen, Demarcus Bumpers, make sure you guys go and check out all of the upcoming projects that are out right now. Beware of Paul Pride, Secret Killer, and Celebrity Fever out on platforms Amazon, Prime, and also Tubi. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that as well. And I love you all joining me tomorrow. We have my girl Tina Marie. It is Girls Day in the afternoon. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow at 4. We're going to be talking about our fall favorite fragrances. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. And Demarcus, it was such a pleasure. I had such an amazing time learning all of this information and giving information and imparting gems. So,
It was definitely a pleasure, and best of luck to you. And I'm sure we will chat soon. And you've got my contact information, so definitely stay in touch. And who knows, probably in one of my next interviews, I'll probably bring a surprise celebrity onto our interview.
all right, I'll be ready for it.
All right,
All
you have
right,
a great evening.
you too. Take care.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.